Hello, my name is Dimitri Calhoun. This is my major presentation project on interactive video conferencing. What exactly is interactive video conferencing? Interactive video conferencing is connecting two or more sites via audio and video through the use of video conferencing equipment. Interactive video conferencing can be used to hold several events, such as conferences and meetings, classes, workshops, and one-on-one sessions. A great example of an app that we use in the 21st century that is an example of interactive video conferencing is Skype. Skype has been around since 2003 and it remains a popular app that's used by many people today. So, what are some types of interactive video conferencing? Video conferencing consists of two primary types. The first one is point-to-point. Point-to-point is video conferencing in its simplest form and is used when only two sites are involved in a meeting or program. So an example of a point-to-point interactive video conference is myself connecting to our professor of this course. There's only two sites involved in the conference, so therefore this would be considered a point-to-point video conference. Number two is a multi-point. And multi-point is video conferencing when more than two sites are involved. So if I were to connect myself, the professor of this class, and a fellow classmate of this class, that would be considered a multi-point interactive video conference because more than two sites are involved. The link below at the bottom of this slide gives great information on the different types of interactive video conferencing that I just mentioned and ways that you can use it in every day. So I feel like this would be a great tool for anyone, whether a teacher has 1 year's experience or many years of experience. It provides great information. Equipment needed for interactive video conferencing. You will need a camera or a webcam. You will need a monitor, an external microphone, broadband internet connection, and web conferencing software. So the camera or webcam is for the party that you are connecting to see you. They can only see you by this camera or webcam that you have installed for this interactive video conference. The monitor is for your use. The monitor is for you to see the party that you are connected to. The external microphone is for the party to hear what you are saying clearly. Broadband internet connection is what makes the interactive video conference call possible. This is how your party that you are connecting to sees and hear you clearly. If you do not have high-speed internet, your chances of having a successful interactive video conference can be slim to none because this is what makes the video conference possible. And last but not least, you need web conferencing software. So as stated before, Skype is greatly used by people today, and this would be a great tool for you to use for interactive video conference, whether you're in a classroom or if you are conducting business. How is interactive video conferencing used in a classroom? Number one, you can connect with experts in the disciplines. You can take students on virtual field trips to various places. You can work together with other students globally. And you can assess previously unavailable courses. Number four, assessing previously unavailable courses is when a school doesn't offer a course that students need. For instance, in my high school, I graduated Warren High School in 2012. We did not physically have a Spanish instructor on campus. However, we went to this class called CIB Learning Lab. And in that class, we were able to connect with a teacher who taught Spanish in Hot Springs. She connected us with other schools such as West Helena and Clarendon, and we were able to learn Spanish as effective as we would if we had a teacher physically inside the classroom. This class allowed us to ask the teacher any questions that we may have. It allowed her to ask her questions to us, and she was able to proctor our exams and other activities. So, this is a great innovative way to use interactive video conferencing in the 21st century. This link that I provided at the bottom of the screen gives more information on uses of interactive video conferencing inside the classroom. Uh, as stated before, no matter if a teacher has several years of experience or just starting out, this provides great uses of how to use interactive video conferencing inside of your classroom. This is Skype in the classroom. This teacher connects with a class in New Zealand. They are in California. And this is just an example of how to use Skype or interactive video conferencing inside of your classroom. I think you will enjoy it.
Miss Croft told the class that we were doing a Skype call to a classroom. Everyone jumped out of their seats and they were like screaming.
I was like really excited because we could learn a lot, and not only we would learn, but we would teach other people too.
We can Skype with California today, we can Skype with Brazil tomorrow, and Skype in the classroom allows us to do that. All you have to do is press a button.
In their time zone, they're actually so much ahead of us that they're a day ahead of us. Today is Wednesday for them, but it's Tuesday for us, and they're definitely talking to people in the future because they're further into their own life than us.
Everyone breathe. The Skype in the classroom today was a way for the kids to have a virtual field trip to get outside of our classroom, outside of our city, and across the world.
Okay, cool. So if you guys are ready, we'll start with the national anthem first. Here we go.
I love that they sang their national anthem at the beginning. I thought that was just really welcoming and just right away gave us the sense that they had pride in their country.
They sang it in English and they sang it in Maori, which is their native language. It's like you're in the same room with them because you can see them, you can see how they're reacting, and like how they did the same thing that we did.
Earthquake drill here? We'll pretend that an earthquake is happening. Oh no.
We showed them how to drop, cup a hold if they seem to like that.
We studied earthquakes in fourth grade, so that went right along with what we've been learning.
That's pretty much the exact same thing that we do here.
I liked how they were on TV. Like they were presenters, like movie stars. They were acting like us, so not like our friends.
What do you like to do in your spare time?
Bungee jumping.
Skype is such a useful tool in terms of keeping our classroom more worldly.
Kids are growing up in this digital age. As educators, we're constantly trying to find tools for them to engage them, excite them, and make those connections.
Miss Croft always wants to bring technology to us. It's fun to like have a teacher learning with you. Thank you for Skyping with us. It was very interesting to learn about your country. And bye.
Okay, interactive video conferencing inside the classroom of each discipline. So for mathematics, the standard states distinguish between situations that can be modeled with linear functions and with exponential functions. A great way that an educator could use interactive video conferencing to establish this standard, to make sure that this standard is met, is by taking a virtual field trip to an amusement park. I'm pretty sure that students would greatly enjoy going to a physical field trip to an amusement park, but taking the virtual field trip will allow them to see the many different forms of linear function and exponential functions that are found in amusement park rides. For instance, roller coasters may have the behavior that a linear function or an exponential function may have. So they will be able to distinguish between those two models in an amusement park by taking a virtual field trip. For literacy, the standard states analyze how an author's choices concerning how to structure specific parts of a text contribute to its overall structure and meaning as well as its aesthetic impact. A great way to make sure that this standard is met is to allow students to possibly connect to the actual author of a novel that they've read in class. Not only would this strengthen the students' interpersonal communication skills with one another and to the author, it will allow them to actually uh, describe their feelings and their emotions for the novel that they've read in the classroom. So this is a great way to connect students' knowledge from reading to the person who actually wrote the book. This is very interesting for the students, and I'm quite sure that they will enjoy that. For science, the standard says research and evaluate science careers using the following criteria: educational requirements, salary, availability of jobs, and working conditions. A great way to make sure that this standard is met is by allowing a professional who works in the field of science to connect with students so that they can ask them questions and just learn more about their career and what their daily work day involves. So, for instance, a doctor or a nurse would be a great uh, professional to use for this standard to make sure that this standard has been met. For social studies, the standard says examine ways people have adapted to the physical environment over time. Example, technology, habitation, transportation, agriculture, and communication. So just like the video we just watched, how the classroom in New Zealand connected to the classroom in California, this would be a great example of making sure this standard is met by connecting with students across the globe to see how those people use technology, how they live, how they get to where they're trying to go, how they plant food, and how they communicate with one another. That is a great way to make sure that standard is met. Advantages and disadvantages of interactive video conferencing. Advantages include no time constraints, dramatic time savings, easy communication, and increased productivity. So the main thing as far as advantages is that there's no time lost. So just think about the time that it would take for you to travel to a different city to a field trip. That time that you spent traveling is instruction time that has been lost. So performing an interactive video conference will not only give students a great experience, but it will also lessen the time lost for instruction time. It's easy to communicate because the person is right there in front of you. They're not there physically, but they're virtually. That you can ask questions, you can say anything or do anything that you would in front of them. Disadvantages include lack of personal interaction, technical problems, international time zones, and high cost of setup. So some people don't like the fact that performing a virtual interactive video conference, you lack personal interaction. However, the person is right there in front of you on the screen. So this is a personal preference, in my opinion. Technical problems can arise if you do not have adequate internet speed. So it's very essential for you to have great internet speed to make sure that your interactive video conference is successful. You might run into international time zones. Time zones are different in different areas of the world, so this would be something that you would have to keep in mind. And high cost of setup. So many school districts may not be able to afford the equipment needed to make a successful interactive video conference. So this is something to always take into consideration. This is a list of my sources used for compiling this PowerPoint. And that is the end. I hope you enjoyed it.